It is very important for us as the House to send a very clear message to every person who holds an office of high calling. Every person who is a commissioner, who has an office of authority, must be able to discharge his or her duties with integrity, with commitment, and with passion which Kenyans expect him or her to discharge his duties. These four commissioners, Mr. Speaker, they were about to burn this country. This country has taken the efforts of our forefathers to be where it is today. It has taken the energy and the commitment of many Kenyans to have the institutions which we have. And we cannot afford to destroy our democracy because of people who are after subverting the will of the people of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, it is good for us as members of this House to send a very clear signal and strong one by sending these four commissioners home with immediate effect. Mr. Speaker, I support the recommendation of the committee. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Now, who next? I'll give the member for Molo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The report before this House, Mr. Speaker, is purely based on the veracity of the petition presented before the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, it is only fair to say that the Jailer Committee took an impartial role as it took through a quasi-judicial role, Mr. Speaker. The respondent, Mr. Speaker, waived their fair administrative action rights and therefore would have no pause to seek retrieve in any other avenue, Mr. Speaker. Kenya holds one of the most expensive elections in the world, not just in terms of the cost, but most importantly in terms of the opportunity cost of the foregone business and economic activities before, during, and after elections, Mr. Speaker. We need to put this to an end. When Kenyans go to vote, they need to go back to their businesses. We did not scare away any investors because it is an electoral period. And with those few remarks, Mr. Speaker, I support this motion.
KJ.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. And I rise to support the report that has been presented by the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee. Mr. Speaker, it is important that it goes on record that the committee was not there to judge the four commissioners. In fact, we should be here thanking some patriotic Kenyans who presented petitions to this House. And according to our constitution, Mr. Speaker, we are mandated to look into and resolve any matter of interest in this country, Mr. Speaker. And this is a matter of great interest, Mr. Speaker. Why so? Because what happened in Bomas, Mr. Speaker, can only be defined as sacrilege. These are people who are actually candidates for a charge of treason, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, what was intended to happen at Bomas was tallying of votes. However, some four individuals took it upon themselves to appropriate to themselves powers that they did not have. They wanted the results unpacked and they wanted to vote on a vote. After millions of Kenyans had gone to the ballot and voted, 4 Kenyans wanted to vote on the vote that Kenyans had voted on. Mr. Speaker, the report coming from the committee is damning. We wish it would have been the final stage, because what we are about to go into is an expense that a country like ours does not need to go into. These are people who, if they were honorable enough, would have just decided to quit the positions immediately after the announcement of the elections. So, Mr. Speaker, without taking much more time, I want to add my voice to those who are here saying that we should support the report of the committee and the president should set up a tribunal pronto and this decision made so that we can move on as a country. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.